Meet Michael Swanson, who went on a horrifying killing spree that unfolded in Iowa when just 17 years old. Swanson embarked on a chilling rampage, targeting 2 gas station attendants. His first victim was 47-year-old Vicki Bowman Hall, confronting her at a gas station in Algona, Iowa. Masked and armed with a handgun, he demanded cash and cigarettes. An hour later, in Humboldt, Iowa, Swanson repeated the same horrific act at a convenience store, this time claiming the life of Sheila Myers.
There's blood everywhere.
Blood everywhere? Okay, I'll get an ambulance there and I'll get an officer there, okay?
Thank you.
Is she breathing or is she...
She doesn't appear to be, no.
As authorities later identified his vehicle, Swanson was arrested 60 miles away from the shootings. The tragic pattern emerged. Despite the victims following his demands, murder seemed to be Swanson's primary goal.
If she would have, at that point, would it have made a difference? I mean, were you going to do what you were going to do? I'm always curious, how did it feel when you pulled the trigger? I mean, some people say that, it feels powerful or that it's kind of a rush, or what did you feel when you pulled the trigger?
I felt powerful, but I just didn't really care.
He faced 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of burglary. All questions about his motives were answered by Swanson himself, as he confessed to the shootings in court.
I then intentionally, deliberately, and with premeditation shot the clerk, causing her to die. I did this with a specific intent to kill her.
When the victim's daughter delivered a heartbreaking victim impact statement, he sat in the courtroom, devoid of any emotion.
How could you do what you did to my mom and my family? I want to know if you're even sorry. Are you sorry for what you did? My mom was not only completely 100% innocent, but she was also a defenseless woman when you came in with that gun. You said you did it for cigarettes and money and so no one could identify you, but I think that's a lie. You did it, as you later said on, that it was so you could feel powerful. How could killing a defenseless woman and an outright execution be powerful or fair? My mom did nothing to you.
During his sentencing, Swanson displayed a chilling lack of remorse, smiling and laughing in the face of the court's judgment.
Cold-blooded murder, young man. And your counsel wants us to believe that you lack the capacity, that you were insane. And I don't buy into that. You are dangerous, you are unpredictable, and there is no place for you in an open, law-abiding society. Prison for the rest of your life is the only alternative, and the court intends to follow through.
For years into his sentence, Swanson's brutality resurfaced when he slit another inmate's throat. This is Randall Moore. He's facing 3 life sentences for crimes against his former wife, Teresa-Ann Lynch Moore. Teresa-Ann made a brave decision to leave her husband, and had even filed a protective order against him to ensure her safety. Tragically, this decision led to a horrific turn of events. Moore, unable to accept the end of their relationship, kidnapped and ultimately killed his estranged wife.
He has 20 shells. He wants no one to come to the door.
The events escalated when Officer Todd Rowland responded to the cries for help, only to be shot and wounded by Moore.
303 Adam, I've been hit. Okay, 303 Adam's been hit. Officer down.
During the violent encounter, Moore had a chilling conversation with a 911 dispatcher.
You want me to tell you something?
Well, you can tell me whatever you want.
I didn't want to do any of this.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, all I wanted was my son. I just wanted to see my 7-month-old baby. That's all I cared about.
You just wanted to see your son?
Yep.
Where's your son at now?
He's not with me.
Fortunately, Moore surrendered, and Officer Rowland underwent surgery for his injuries, showing immense courage in the face of danger. As the verdict was read out, Moore displayed no emotion, giving nothing more than a slight nod. At his sentencing, Teresa-Ann's mother delivered a powerful victim impact statement.
What you did to my daughter, Teresa-Ann Marie Lynch, was evil, hateful, and despicable. You are now dead and rotting and repulsive to me.
Read the journal she wrote. She hated you.
Thank you, Judge.
She hated you. You're a loser.
He remained unapologetic for his actions, declaring that he had no remorse for what transpired.
And I'll tell you point blank, I have not 1 ounce of remorse for Tree Sand's death. It could have all been prevented. All you had to do is let me see my kid. Now you're never going to see her again.
Finally, the judge addressed the court, offering a scathing assessment of Moore's character.
Can't believe what I've heard, but I am really glad you had your right of elocution and you could say everything that you said, because if anybody didn't know what a piece of work you were before you start talking, they know it now. The court doesn't allow me to punish you any more than I'm doing now. If I could, I would.
In the end, justice was served. Randall Moore received a total of 3 life sentences plus an additional 25 years for the attempted murder of Officer Todd Rowland. Now, Keith Ferguson, a name that sent shockwaves through Kalkaska, Michigan, as he faced a staggering 12 felony counts, including kidnapping and murder. Ferguson, then 40 years old, was embroiled in a bitter divorce dispute with his wife, Tiffany Ferguson. He brutally assaulted her and, in front of their 4 children, fatally shot her. After this heinous act, he took the children to Tiffany's parents' house, where he fatally shot his own father-in-law. The chaos continued as he fled the scene, seeking refuge in a nearby house, taking the owner hostage, and barricading himself inside. A tense 7-hour standoff ensued before he was finally apprehended. During Ferguson's court appearances, his demeanor and apparent lack of remorse left those in attendance baffled and horrified. At his sentencing, Tiffany's best friend delivered a heart-wrenching victim impact statement, revealing that she had always feared Keith would harm his wife.
He loves his kids too much. He won't kill me. Well, we see how much you love them. You loved them so much, you murdered their mother and grandfather.
When questioned about his own children, Ferguson expressed no desire to see or speak to them ever again. The judge, in response, delivered a powerful statement, suggesting that there was something deeply troubling within him.
You may not meet the clinical definition of insanity, but there's clearly something fundamentally wrong with you.
In the end, justice prevailed, and Keith Ferguson received a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
I'll see y'all in hell.
Meet Ronnie Oneal, a double murderer from Riverview, Florida.
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not.
Oneal was just 29 years old when he fatally shot his then-girlfriend, Kenyatta Barron, and turned on his own daughter, striking her multiple times with a hatchet. She was only 9 years old. He didn't stop there, also stabbing their 8-year-old son before dousing their house with gasoline and setting it ablaze. The first 911 call that night came from Kenyatta Barron, who was heard screaming before abruptly hanging up.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm shot, help me. I'm shot, help me, please, Jesus, help me, I'm shot.
Okay, what's the address of the emergency, ma'am? What's the address of your emergency?
I'm shot, help me, please.
What's your address? What's your address, ma'am?
Shot me, help me, please, he shot me.
Where?
8 minutes later, another call came in, this time from Oneal himself.
911, what is your emergency?
Hey, I just been attacked by some white demons inside, and she tried to kill me, and I just killed her stupid ass.
After his arrest, Oneal was psychologically cleared to represent himself in court. During the trial, he cross-examined his now 11-year-old son, who bravely recounted the chilling events of that fateful night.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Did I hurt you that night of this incident?
Yes.
I did. And how did I hurt you?
You stabbed me.
Oneal also accused the prosecution of fabricating evidence.
Because he's playing a fraudulent damn recording of me beating Kenyatta Barron 15 damn times when that did not happen.
Despite his attempts to challenge the evidence, Oneal was found guilty. The presiding judge declared it the worst case she had ever seen.
This is the worst case ever in my life, and I have seen some horrors, but this is it. And I'm going to mete out the punishment that I think this case deserves.
In the end, Ronnie Oneal was sentenced to 3 life sentences plus 90 years without the possibility of parole.
I am not sorry for something I didn't do, and I am not sorry for the things I did do.
But amidst the darkness, there was a glimmer of hope. Oneal's son was adopted by the detective who had cared for him on that harrowing night.